Tell us about skill sigils. Oh, sorry, my microphone cut out there. I don't know what happened. That was weird.
Hello everyone and welcome to Action RPG. I'm your host Aaron, and for today's video we're headed to the world of Last Epoch. Senior developer, co-founder of EHG Mike held his normal Friday Q&A live stream on Twitch, which means I get to bring you Dev Chat 174. As always, Mike answered lots of great questions from the community and gave us a Season 3 teaser. And we're going to jump into this right now. Kind of a non-answer, but I keep getting asked about it, so I thought I'd put it right at the beginning of the video. Season 3, when?
When can we expect Season 3? Season 3 is, we don't have an exact date on Season 3 yet, but we are working on it. It is in process. We have switched over almost entirely to Season 3 content at this point. There's still some hotfixing stuff happening for Season 2 just to get some issues fixed and dealt with that need to happen right away, but new content coming is being worked on Season 3 right now. It's going quite well. We do have an internal date targeted already, so we know when we're planning on doing it. When that becomes a little more solid, we'll be announcing when that is, but for now it is in the works.
They kept poking Mike on Season 3. Okay, but is like everything on schedule? How is it looking? And he did say that. He said, hey, Judd back in the day said every 3 or 4 months we will get a season. So, hey, Mike, how's the schedule looking? And later in the stream, he goes, right now we are on track for our internal date. So hopefully between 3 and 4 months. Question from my community to Mike about lizard tails.
If lizard tails are dropping in game, is it possible they are being filtered out? Is there something in the loot filter that would be hiding them? I think they'd be classified as I think they're listed under keys, and I don't think you can filter keys. I think as an item type, they are always visible no matter what, but I could be wrong. Also, what are you talking about? I don't know, that doesn't look like anything to me. Are you guys sure they are actually able to be dropped? I've seen 0 tails in hours and hours of grinding. I feel like I've seen only 1 now. I have no idea what you're talking about. I'm sure that'll make more sense eventually.
EHG is working on their version of the secret cow level. We're going to get some kind of lizard level, which is awesome. Now Mike is going to answer 2 questions back to back: offline cosmetics and guilds.
Cosmetics offline when? I do not have a good answer for that at the moment.
I know they're working on it.
As far as I know, there's not any ETA on something like that at the moment. Would be really nice though. Any plans on a guild system or something? Yeah, this is something we've started to talk about a little more in the last little while. There's nothing planned for Season 3 around this, but I think it's starting to get more into the idea of something that we could do. There probably wouldn't be a ton of stuff involved with it at first. I think it would be more along the lines of kind of what I've said we didn't want to do in the past, but I've definitely come around to it myself, is basically a glorified chat room. Just kind of all you need sometimes to build a little bit of community inside of a game. Which is a big part of what guild systems are. It's a way to build a community. Having a guild chest is something that quite often gets asked alongside it. Is not something we're likely to do anytime soon, because it does completely remove the point of the Merchant's Guild and Bazaar.
I don't think they need to overcomplicate it at first. If it was a shared area and a chat, that would probably be good enough. Like your, I don't know, hideout for your guild, and then you've got a in-game chat. I think that'd be a good start. Skill synergy for multiplayer.
Thoughts on making something like a co-op tree that you could choose nodes that would impact your builds while you play together. For instance, you could have a node that when playing with a Heartseeker and your mage with Firewall, when the Heartseeker passes through the Firewall, it is now a burning Heartseeker. Not even sure if that's possible, but I think something like that would be hella fun. Keep up the good work on your fitness. Oh, thanks. Yes, it is. This is the sort of thing we've talked about doing since like day one. This was one of our early things. The classic example actually that the thing that sparked this as a possibility was a mechanic in Chrono Trigger actually, and in Final Fantasy 9. Best Final Fantasy, I'll argue that till the day I die. And the original version of that was Fire Tornado. Was Primalist makes a tornado, and Mage shoots a fireball at the tornado. It's now Fire Tornado, and that's how we couldn't get that to work properly and play smoothly and not have any issues. So we actually just added Fire Tornado as a node. That's why Fire Tornado exists in the game. And thank you very much for the sub, Jeffrick. Thank you for the sub. I appreciate you. I'm sorry for failing miserably at pronouncing your name, as I do like 90% of the time. I don't know how I'm so bad at it. But yes, the co-op tree type thing. We've been really hesitant to put content into the game that requires a party. So this sort of thing is like having a tree that goes with it. It does solve the issue of not wanting to have like unwanted effects. So there's some tricky stuff here where, like, say you have we'll put it on Frostwall in fire mode, and so Firewall is there, and shooting projectiles through Firewall turns them into fire projectiles. Okay, the person that's shooting those projectiles has a ton of physical damage buffs, and suddenly their projectiles are being turned into fire, and their damage is getting nerfed pretty hard. So suddenly you have this capability where someone can say, like, I'm going to spec into my ability one way that makes you worse, and that sucks. And then there's the other half of it where, like, if that node doesn't do anything, if you put that node on either half, you put that node in the Heartseeker tree, you put that node in the Firewall tree, if the other person isn't there and you're playing solo, suddenly that's a dead node, and that feels bad, which is what I think this idea of having a separate tree to invest in is trying to address, where you're both agreeing on what goes in there to strategize ahead of time, and you're also both agreeing on that it's going to happen. And you break it out from the node, so you're not actually you're not wasting resources that would go into when you're playing solo. This is stuff we've talked about quite a bit. We don't have any plans for something like this at the moment. There are some like minor versions of this that we've wanted to do quite a few times. There's going to be a couple nice bows there, I think.
Cool idea, no plans. Now let's check out something new coming season 3.
Oh, here, let's look at this little guy. Look at the cutie. Look, cutie. He's so cute. Yeah. Oh. Here's a little teaser for season 3 coming up. I forgot the needle. I did. Oh well.
Now, I'm going to take a guess. I don't know what this is, because if I did, then I couldn't tell you, which means I can infer what it's going to be. Mike said at the beginning of stream he's going to be bringing on Kyle, the lore master, and they're going to be doing a lore stream soon. We also know that Act 10, the new campaign chapter, is coming soon and is actively in development. And Chapter 10 of the campaign is the Ancient Era. So we know Chapter 10 is coming. We know it's in active development. They're bringing on the lore master. And then this is the teaser. This, if I was guessing, this almost kind of looks like a golem model, but it's either a new enemy or a new NPC for the new Chapter 10 campaign chapter we're getting. That is my guess, but I have no idea. Minion tooltip DPS and a new Lich skill.
Will you be adding damage for minions on tooltips anytime soon? We're working on it. It's probably not coming season 3, I don't think. Can you blink once with the new Lich skill? We'll have a cold melee conversion. I don't know which conversions it's going to have. I think it only has one conversion.
What?
I don't remember which element it is. I'm sorry. I don't think I would tell you even if I could remember. What am I talking about? Okay, let's do this. This is the real one. This is the real one.
He's talking about the new Lich Skill and then realizes, oh, I'm not even supposed to be talking about this. We've wanted tooltip DPS on minions for a while. They are working on it, and we know we're getting a new Lich Skill for Season 3, and it will have at least one conversion. Now, if you didn't know, I campaigned for years, and I mean years, for EHG to make the Warlock class for Acolyte Void focused. I said it would be a huge missed opportunity if they didn't, and obviously I lost that war. Since then, I've switched gears and said, I bet you Rogue. Rogue specifically is going to get the next Void class. They keep adding Void items. It's got shadows, kind of like an Akuma style Dark Monk. I feel like that's on the horizon. And then during the stream, Mike said this.
Why does Rogue have quiver that says +1 bow void damage when she shoots, when she doesn't use Void? Well, you can add void damage. You can add damage types of any damage type element to attacks, so it doesn't necessarily need to synergize perfectly. And maybe there's stuff other coming in the future. I don't know. Are there plans to improve the?
Did you catch that? And maybe there's other stuff planned in the future with that little smile. I can't be the only person that's caught that. All right, everyone. Unfortunately, we've come to the final question for Dev Chat 174 around hiding gold labels, which I actually think is a fantastic idea that I haven't heard recommended before. Mike, as always, thank you for your Friday live streams. The community truly appreciates it. Don't ever change, sir. Aaron Action RPG on Twitch. Today is day 31 of my subathon, and we've got 18 hours on the clock. If you want to come hang out, have some fun, win some giveaways, or just ask a question, I'm live on Twitch every day, I guess, for the rest of my life. Check out actionrpg.com, my newly launched website. Creators like myself, Babbling Bike, The Cursed Frozen Sentinel, Slaydra, we are all building builds and putting it up there on my alpha website, actionrpg.com. I'm done. Mike, take it away.
Any plans for being able to hide gold labels? Pretty quickly playing COF, I don't really care about seeing them anymore. Tens of piles of gold labels is is quite a lot of clutter on the screen pretty much all the time. I think that's interesting. I think that would be it would be really nice. I remember in like there's can't even say, I'm probably not allowed to talk about that. I think having restricted, not because of it's something in our game, but something bad in another game that I probably shouldn't talk about. I agree with you. I think I'd really like to have a threshold where you could say like only show me gold drops over a certain threshold. Things like oh, I only want to see if it's a 4-digit gold number, I'll check it out, and otherwise, nah. Nothing really exciting in there, is there? What's the problem to be extreme powerful? This is what people complete their builds. I mean, I think that the problem is less in the sense of becoming extremely powerful. We want people to feel extremely powerful, but we don't want the power to be too lopsided, and we'd still like there to be a challenge in the game on a specific curve. So like, or a rough curve. So having a progression system where like the things you do make your character more powerful, and you can feel that progression system, and as you as a player get better as well, you become more proficient, and you become a better player, and so you do more damage and you complete things better as well. So having both of those like character progressions and player skill progressions happen simultaneously to be able to clear harder and harder content is the goal for sure. And becoming extremely powerful is fantastic. Having individual builds that are dramatic outliers in that, where it's just, you know, by walking close to people, everything just dies automatically. I think there's I think it takes something away from the game fun-wise, personally, and maybe it doesn't for you at all. But having it be, there's a point where something can be too easy. I think this might not be something you've experienced yourself, but I definitely have experienced it. Is when you're in a like play, I don't know, like Oblivion just came back, like remastered, and I don't know if you've ever opened up the console or downloaded a bunch of mods, and you get a bunch of really overpowered stuff, and you're like, aha, now I am a god, and then the next week you find yourself just like not playing it anymore, because you're like, I won the fun out of it type thing. I think that's the key thing to want to avoid is having the game just become not fun anymore, because it's trivial, and having it be where it's so lopsided that you have to struggle to barely complete everything on one class, and have it be so easy where you can breathe heavy on something and it completes it with another is where the real problem happens. All right. Do you have any plans to change the auction house, making it easier to track the prices of items and sell them? Yeah. That's a very important thing for us to improve upon.